Why hello, it's your gal Bean back at it again with some more Hallobean content. Today we'll be doing another review and makeup video. I very much enjoyed doing the last one and immediately knew that I wanted to do another one. And what better than a series that I've literally just watched today. It is on Netflix and it is called American Murder: The Family Next Door. It was actually recommended to me to watch. I tried not to look at any reviews or anything before watching it because I don't like doing that. I feel like it spoils the experience. By the way, I just want to apologize that it is currently raining outside, so if you hear some random background tippy-tappy noises, it's because it's raining. It's hitting the window, it's distracting, and yeah. Oh, and the makeup look that I'll be doing today is a nice little candy corn eyeshadow, even though we don't have candy corn over here in the UK. I like the colour combinations. I thought it was very cute and I wanted to try. Let's get you up nice and close, like, and just see, you can see this in the eyes. I'm gonna start off by pretty much discussing the only problem that I had with the program, which immediately kind of gives you an indication on what I thought of it. I thought it was very good. It was very entertaining. I often find with a lot of these crime shows, when I start to lose interest, I start to like get distracted and start doing things around my flat. That wasn't the case with this. I immediately was watching it and intrigued and pretty much sat there the entire hour and a half, completely interested in where it was going, what was happening, and etc, etc. However, I did have a big problem with the show, and it's not really the show's fault per se, it's more my own because I watch a lot of videos online. I get very into my crime stories and cases, and unfortunately this was one that I'd already known about. I've already heard it, so in other words I knew where the story was going and what it was leading to, but nevertheless I still enjoyed it. Everything happened in 2018, like it wasn't that long ago, and it's now 2020 and they brought out this documentary, so it's not been that long of a time past. It's not like it's been many years, it's only been like 2 years, and you gotta take in consideration editing and production and all that stuff of putting it all together. You know, that takes time. I genuinely cannot criticize them at all for the fact that I already knew the story. That, I will say, is completely on me. But regardless of that, I still wanted to watch it because I was sold on the idea that it was going to be a different editing style, and it was, and I would say that that's probably the biggest thing that I liked about the show. The way that it was edited was like a series of Facebook videos, body cam footage, interview footage, CCTV. It was just all of that spliced together, and I quite liked that. There wasn't someone talking the entire way through. A lot of these shows I find jump to interviews with people. This didn't do that. This just completely relied on what was basically filmed at the time, and that's probably the thing that I enjoyed the most about the show. So let's talk about the art style. The last review that I did was also on a Netflix series, and I pointed out that Netflix take a very artistic route with the way that they film and edit. Now this, because it was done by footage from the time, they're not gonna do all the same kind of shots, but I absolutely loved it for that. They were using raw footage, edited it together to form this story that, regardless of the fact that I already knew what was gonna happen, I was still very much intrigued. You know, you felt like with the use of these videos from Facebook and these text messages, that's another thing. They included like this text that would appear over the screen of like back and forth between people, and it was very intriguing because they built up this story without having to do an interview with anyone. Just by looking at these messages and just by looking at these videos, you got a feel of emotions and what these people were feeling like, and that was very interesting. Is this the right yellow for candy corn? I feel like it's a little bit too luminous. We seem to be in an influx now of just a lot of real crime. Let's solve it together. Let's follow this narrative. I'm also watching a series on Prime called Cold Cases. I'm not sure yet whether I'll do a review on that. There's like an obsession and interest with murder and mystery, and because it's so popular and because there's so much of it, I think it's very difficult to find something that's different, something unique, and I think that this show kind of just did that. It did bring a different idea. It did make it more interesting, in my opinion, than some of the others that I've been seeing lately. It just brought something kind of new to the table in terms of the way that it was shot and edited. In terms of the content itself, unfortunately, yes, it is still the same content. It's still crime, and I still enjoy it, but you know, it still follows the same narrative. You still wanting to figure it out. You still little detective sat on your couch trying to figure it out. And it is interesting for that, and that's the reason why you watch it, and it's the reason why I watch these shows. But I find now that I often end up getting distracted midway through these kinds of shows because I'm so used to the format now. However, this particular program was interesting because I didn't end up doing that. I didn't walk away. I didn't get distracted and start washing up or playing around on my phone and all of those things. I think it was the text messages that was the most intriguing to me because it was like a suspense as he saw the person typing what they're gonna say. It was very interesting, and I very much enjoyed that aspect to it. And I also enjoyed watching the Facebook videos to the extent where at one point I even rewound, like I even went back to watch it again because it was like this little insight to this family and you just wanted to know every single little detail. The reason why it worked so well and the reason why it was so good, it was because he built this narrative with it that was very impressive. He didn't spell anything out. I will say that he has been criticized for just touching on some topics and focusing more on others. I would say his focus is this online presence, the fact that you could see so much into this person's life online, and yet all these people on Facebook had no idea what was really going on in their life. He's been criticized for not focusing on other issues. At one point he briefly touched on internet trolls, like trolling and people getting too involved and people speculating and causing distress to families. He did bring it up and he didn't focus on it, sure, but he did do what, in my opinion, a very nice segment in the documentary. I thought it was enough personally. However, others would disagree. You know, I don't really criticize him for picking some things more than others and giving his documentary the direction that he basically wanted. But I can see how people would look at that and be like, well, he could have gone down this route or he could have talked more about this. I personally just didn't think it was necessary. I think the expression short and sweet kind of worked in this instance of let's not get too distracted from the main story, let's not take this off course, let's keep it focused, but still bringing up this separate problem and this separate discussion of internet trolls and people putting in their 2 cents and not really regarding feelings and emotions. You know, when I have to concentrate, when I just like completely stop talking. Get on the eye. It was very entertaining. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It grabbed my attention the entire time, and for that reason I'm gonna give it a 8 out of 10. As always, if you liked this video, then don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this or my other Hallobean content, then go hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon if you want to follow me on this spooky adventure, and yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye!